My name's Fraser Hunter, and I'm here representing the farmers that farm in Boularderie Island. I'm First Vice President of the Nova Scotia Federation of Agriculture, and I'm asked to make a presentation to you tonight to bring you up to date of what agriculture means to the community here. If we look at it in the province, in 2002 the agricultural sector, including indirect and induced tax revenues, contributed 57 million in taxes to provincial coffers and a further 72 million to federal coffers. And agriculture here in Cape Breton is an important part of that provincial industry and has and will continue to make a valuable contribution to the social, economic and environmental fabric of Cape Breton. And if you think of Boularderie Island, it was the breadbasket for Louisbourg. You know, why did the French come there and see that land? It is beautiful, beautiful soil for production, and also has a microclimate from the Bredor Lakes. Boularderie Island, in fact, is second only to the Annapolis Valley in potential to produce food for Nova Scotians and for export. It should be noted that the land use in the Annapolis Valley is changing quickly. Land is being forced out of food production to other non-renewable resources. There are many compelling arguments to ensure that nothing happens that will jeopardize the agricultural capability of this and other parts of Cape Breton. In fact, in 1995, Cape Breton produced food valued at the farm gate at 19 million. In 2000, this rose to 21 million and has been going up steadily. I was interested to hear the figures that the coal that they're hoping to produce is worth $100 million. It's less than 5 years of the agricultural production. Of that 25 million that is produced in Cape Breton, 60% of that money is spent in the local community. Farmers don't spend it outside the community. We spend it here buying trucks, using welding services, etc., right here in the local community. And of that 60%, most of it is spent within 30-mile radius. So the farmers on Boularderie Island are spending all that money in this location. What I see here tonight, and I've been asked by farmers to say, is that what we're looking is short-term gain for long-term pain. Farmers try and control risk. We go through weather problems, we go through BSE, we go through WTO, etc. Unlikely to control any of these, but we can control the water quality and the soil quality that is around us. It is under our control. So this is a risk that we as farmers in this community don't want to take, meddling with the soil quality and the water quality. Water needs to be pristine for agricultural production. You look in Boularderie Island, what do we produce there? Milk. What is milk made up of? Water. I hope you're not drinking green milk. It's made from grass, sure. But 90% of that milk that you're drinking, or 87% of it, is water. Water is essential. Strawberries. Who's eaten strawberries from Rendell's or Quinn's lately? He's selling you expensive water. You buy the headaches there. But water is so important to us as an agricultural community here. Is it worth risking that water quality for short-term gain? So it's important to look at the two questions that I've asked to bring here. Where will coal revenues be spent and how long will they last? They'll last 5 years and they're gone. Is there any possibility at all that strip mining operations will have a negative impact on farm operations at all? If they do, is it worth the trade-off? Short-term revenues for long-term benefits to the community that a viable agricultural economy can provide. We talk about environment, and we talked about how this is possibly a high sulfur coal and we've got to be used by 2012 if we're going to get any benefit from it. Farmers in this area here in Cape Breton are providing valuable environmental services to the rest of the community, and it should be noted that there is no return for that investment in costs in the marketplace. For example, farmers voluntarily enroll in environmental farm plans, so we identify problems and we mitigate the risk. We take nutrient management plans. We're only allowed to apply a certain amount of nutrients to our land so that we don't contaminate the water, so we don't degrade the soil. Will strip mining do any of that?
No.
I leave that up to you. It's worth noting that no one has forced these environmental measures on farmers. They've taken the initiatives themselves. We are meeting here tonight next to one of the worst environmental disasters in North America, the infamous tar ponds, in an area that is still relatively pristine. The farm community and their approach to the environment has had a lot to do with the environmental integrity of this community. Is it worth looking at abandoned farms for the tourists? Not likely. The farm community and their approach to the environment has had a lot to do with the environment. In the process, farmers are making a valuable and sustainable contribution both in terms of the economy and the ecology. They are at the same time providing members of the broader community with a valuable lifestyle choices. In the final analysis, strip mining poses a potential risk. It is a risk we can mitigate. We can't mitigate against BSE, we can't mitigate against the weather, but we can control what's happening in our own backyard to water and soil. Replace those once they're gone. We can then look at various other ecological problems that will happen. You know, if there's arsenic and pyrite, contaminated water, holes, dust, etc., etc. If you're looking for safe food, we are trying to provide safe food. This is a risk we can mitigate. Thank you.
Next speaker. And one of the things that we also are trying to work with the farm community on and with the Federation of Agriculture is trying to deal with the other pressures, and those are impacts from the agreement on internal trade in the region, as well as working with the farming community with regards to Buy Nova Scotia and working with the local community with proprietary interests from big box companies that are putting national and international pricing structures in place that also hurt that. And I do take your points, and we've recorded those, and the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries is engaged in this process, and we will do follow up with your comments to him.
All I'll say in response to that is we have no control over the big box stores, we have no control over the trade agreements, we have control over water and soil.
Yes, but your farmers have also said they're going to lose their farms if we don't control the trade agreements, don't control Nova Scotia
buying, using
Nova Scotia products.